Okay, so on our warm-up, we're just looking for the area of the whole circle, which area of a circle is just pi r squared. Okay, pi times radius squared. So on this first one, pi times 12 squared.
452.39.
Okay.
I got that too.
I was little.
Okay. Second one is pi times 5.2 squared. That's what?
84.95.
I did not get that.
What'd you get?
Wait, say again.
I don't want to talk about it.
94.95.
I got 16.3.
Is that 216?
Okay.
Pi to the square root.
All right, the next one, pi times 6.4 squared.
128.68.
0.68 miles squared. And then on the fourth one,
28.27.
28.27 square yards. Okay, so very simple. Now, today what we're going to focus on is not how to find the area of a whole circle, but how to find what we call the sector of a circle.
It's a sector.
This is a sector. It's like, if you think about a whole circle, like a pizza or whatever, it's just the area of one of the slices. Okay? Just the area of one of the slices. Now, here's the formula we're going to use for this. Okay, pi r squared. Now, if we just left it at pi r squared, that would give us the area of the whole circle. I don't want the area of the whole circle.
Divided by 360.
Okay, I'm going to divide this by 360, but we got to add something else to that. Okay, times the measurement of the central angle that makes that sector. Okay, so r obviously is going to be the length of the radius. M is going to be the measurement of this angle right here. All right, so let's... no, not that. Sorry. This thing has changed. Oh, right here. Okay, so let's measure the radius of this circle right here. About, okay, about 2.4 centimeters. All right, so that's the first thing we need is the radius. Okay? All right, guys, I need y'all to chill, please. Now we need to measure this central angle right here. Now, is this angle more or less than 90?
Less.
It's less than 90. Okay? So,
Approximately 80 something.
yep. It's about 80, about 83 or so. Okay? So the central angle is about 83 degrees on this thing. So plugging into the formula, we're going to have pi times the radius squared, which, again, if I just left it like that, that'd tell me the area of this whole thing. Adding on this other piece, the 83 over 360 is what scales it down to what the actual area of that piece is. Okay, so I'm going to go pi times 2.4 squared times 83 over 360. That's right, it's about 4.17. All right, on the second one, how long is the radius of this?
3.5.
It's about 3.5 centimeters. Now I need to measure this central angle. Is this more or less than 90? It's more.
124.
Okay, good. So it's like right between 120, 130, 125 degrees.
Cause that food first after eating it.
Okay, so pi times 3.5 squared is 125 over 360.
I'm not going to go.
I got 0.45.
Veggie donuts and barbecue sauce.
Yeah, it should be 13.36.
Half a day. Oh.
What, bacon with your dad? Mark? Mark?
Okay, on the back. So again, here real quick, area of that sector is going to be pi times r squared times m over 360.
So,
So on this first one, okay guys, need y'all to just focus on what's going on here, please. All right, we're going to have pi times 4 squared
Times 53 divided by 360.
Okay, so we get 7.4 square feet. Okay. Next one, how are we going to set this one up?
5 times 6 squared times 148 over 360.
46.55.
Now, on this third one, I'm looking for the area of the blue shaded in part. The 65 degrees is talking about the measurement of the unshaded part.
From 360.
Yes, 360 total degrees, so I'm going to do 360 minus 65, and that's 295. So this angle over here is 295 degrees.
So you do pi times 11 squared times 295 divided by 360.
311 point drive again.
50.
Yeah, 50. 311.
Okay, now on these last ones, we're going to be looking for other missing information besides just looking for the missing area. So, like on this first one, what is the radius of this circle?
18.
Is 18 yards. What's the measurement of that central angle?
We don't know.
Okay, that's what we don't know on this one. Okay, that's going to be our x. What's the area of this circle?
536.94.
Okay, 536.94 square yards. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this information up into the equation and then solve for the unknown. So we're going to have pi times the radius squared times the central angle, which is what I don't know now. I'm going to put my x there, over 360 equals 536.94. Okay, so we have pi r squared times m over 360 equals the area. The unknown this time is the central angle, not the area. I know the area.
Can't you multiply both by 360?
Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of algebra here. So first thing, yes, we have this 360 down here. We got to get rid of the 360 underneath there first. So we're going to multiply by 360 on both sides. Okay, so these 360s over here, it ends up being 360 over 360, which just turns into 1. So we're going to have pi times 18 squared times x. And what's 536.94 times 360?
193,298.
Huh?
Yeah, number what she said.
193.
1,298.
I thought it was 1,000.
193,298. Okay. Now,
Is it a point?
Oh, 19, no, that's not, wait, never mind,
so I'm solving for x, okay? So I need to get rid of this stuff over here.
So you do pi times 18 squared.
Okay, now the stuff is being multiplied to the x, so I gotta do the opposite of multiply by that stuff. So I'm gonna divide by pi on both sides to cancel that out. $193.
61,528.7.
Oh, I did. It rounded. That's weird. Why it rounded it like that earlier? Okay, I'm gonna stay with this because this is actually closer to what it should be. Okay, now we have one more step here to solve for x.
And then you'll
Square
divide
root.
it by 18 squared.
Divide. Yeah, you can divide by 18 squared.
You get 189. Or maybe different with yours.
189.903.
189.9. Yep. Okay, so that angle is 189.9. Now, what you could do to check to make sure that all is good is just go back and plug everything back in. Just do pi times 18 squared times 189.9 over 360. Okay, just plugging in what we solved for and make sure that gives you that 536.94. And it should give you pretty close. We rounded a little bit, so it's going to be off by just a hair, but should be pretty close. Okay, I'm going to skip that middle one because it's really the exact same stuff we've already been doing. Let's look at the last one. So what's the radius on this one?
We don't know.
That's what we don't know this time. What's the measurement of the central angle? 120 degrees, and then the area is 205.15. Okay, so pi times the radius squared, which this time the radius is the unknown, so there's going to be pi times x squared times 120, because we know the angle is 120 over 360 equals 205.15.
360 and 120 keep cancel out, so 1/3.
Okay, so yep, again, I'm solving for x here. I need to get this 360 out from underneath there, multiply both sides by 360. Okay. All right. So we're solving for x. Next thing I'm going to do, divide both sides by pi. Those pi's cancel to 1.
23,508.5.
23. Okay, so we have x squared times 120 equals 23,508.5.
And you divide both sides by 102. Or 120.
Okay.
195.91.
Okay, 195.904.
Where'd you just square the
You would put it in the square root.
Okay, good. What's the inverse of square?
Square root.
Square root. The opposite of square is square root. So we're going to square root at this point now. So square root one side, I got to square root the other.
You get
14.
14.
13.9996.
Yeah, it's like 13.9966, but that is going to round to 14. And then again, you can plug that in, make sure, do pi times 14 squared times 120 divided by 360 and see if that gives you something pretty close to 205.15.